Hi, this is Shayne Brian from the Bad Boys Podcast. While the Bad Boys Podcast is on a break, I decided to launch a brand new podcast featuring interviews with some amazing guests, some that we've had on Bad Boys, as well as interviews that I've done on my radio show on LAFM. I have so many interviews that I've done and so many more planned. Now, the show is called Long Way to the Top, and it includes guests like this one, the incredible Jefferson Starship. Enjoy this show, and if you want to hear more interviews like this with 80 stars like Whitesnake, Journey, Toto, and some of Ozrock's greatest artists as well, like Diesel and James Rein, then jump on the show, search for Long Way to the Top with Shayne Brian right here on this podcast platform. Enjoy a special Bad Boys presentation, Long Way to the Top with Jefferson Starship. This is Long Way to the Top, and I'm your host, Shayne Brian. In the words of the immortal AC/DC, it is harder than it looks. These interviews will give you a glimpse into the lives of the artists that we've sung along with, danced and rocked out to. Some go deep into their past and others celebrate their recent releases. But all of them show that regardless of who you are, it's always a long way to the top. Welcome to Long Way to the Top. In 2020, we were doing a live breakfast show every morning for the Bad Boys Podcast to help us cope with lockdowns and everything else going on. So many amazing guests dropped in to say hello, but these guys were my favourite. We literally had every member of the latest lineup of Jefferson Starship on screen, and it was complete pandemonium. Everyone except drummer Donnie Baldwin, who was having trouble connecting. Every now and then you'll hear Donnie jump on and ask where we all are. It was the most fun, spontaneous and funniest interview ever. It was pure chaos. I'm now grateful to say that I have an interview with lead singer Kathy Richardson since for an upcoming episode, and I'm in contact with each one. I'm also thankful to include David Freiberg in that category too, one of the OG Jefferson Airplane members. This is Long Way to the Top with Jefferson Starship. We literally have a cast of thousands here today. Well, we've got, how many? Seven of us anyway. So
your counting's really good, mate.
Yeah, we actually have the incredible Jefferson Starship on the show today. How are we all, guys?
Hello.
Good.
We're good, thanks.
Good morning.
Well, yeah, so it's morning for us, but
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you're a day ahead.
how's tomorrow?
now, Kathy, you're actually sitting there with a cocktail, right?
I am. It is 5:30 in the evening here. I've been mixing. We're working on another home video thing, and it requires alcohol.
And high parts.
What's in it? Tell us what's the Kathy cocktail?
Oh, the Kathy Richardson it's Tito's vodka, soda, and lime.
Wow.
And it's got to be in a tall glass. The taller, the better. And I also enjoy a straw.
Now we've got David Freiberg, we've got Donnie Baldwin, we've got Chris Smith, we've got Kathy Richardson and Jude Gold, and obviously the one without a name is Donnie Baldwin. And I'll just do a little bit of an intro to you guys. So there has not been a lot of bands that we could say that they've been around for, with major hits in the 60s, 70s and 80s, but this band can. Originally known as Jefferson Airplane, in the 70s they became known as Jefferson Starship. If you grew up in the 80s, you knew them as Starship, and they boldly proclaimed that we built this city on rock and roll. We're going to find out which city in a minute. This, of course, is the legacy of the current lineup, which features original members David Freiberg and drummer Donnie Baldwin, 25-year member keyboardist Chris Smith, as well as frontwoman Kathy Richardson, who was handpicked by the late Paul Katner, and the incredible guitarist Jude Gold. Together, they are Jefferson Starship. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Hey.
Good morning.
What's
Happy to be here.
I smell smoke.
Smell smoke. Now, you guys are actually in the middle of fires at the moment, right?
We are.
Yeah.
California.
Is everything okay over there?
Fine.
I'm fine.
Well,
yeah.
no, actually,
Yeah,
Kathy, you're on the.
Only
You're on the
Only
on the
other
East
kinds of
Coast?
smoke floating around this house.
Now, Kathy, you're on the East Coast, right?
I am in the middle.
In the
I'm
middle.
in Chicago.
Oh,
She's in the middle.
Nice. So,
Gold
actually,
Coast.
talking about that smoke, I heard a little story about the name Jefferson Airplane. So, what does Jefferson? Where did the name Jefferson Airplane come from, David?
I don't know what story to tell you.
Well, I heard a little story that Jefferson Airplane was actually a reference to something that you might hold the weed
I was
with.
wondering if you're going to go for that one, the little matchstick. You take a paper matchstick and split it down the middle, and you can fit a little bit of the end of a little roach in there, and you could.
There you go.
Delicious bit.
That was the
named
story.
after the band, though.
That was named after the band.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jefferson. I think that was a tribute to old blues singers, kind of like a joke old blues singer, like blind Jefferson Airplane,
Right.
kind of. You know what I mean? Blind Lemon Jefferson. I mean, that probably came from all that. Somebody made up a joke, I think.
Well, it was a pretty good joke.
I wasn't there at the time, so I don't. But I heard good report. I think that's really.
I'm more of a progressive rock fan. You know, I love the 70s music. So, you know, when I think about you guys, I think about, you know, your Jefferson Starship time more than anything, you know. I mean, it was such a crazy time. And David, you're actually a bad boy as well. You're literally a bad boy because
I did some time.
you did some time. Yeah,
He's been expunged, though, haven't you?
It's all been expunged.
Now he's a good boy.
Doesn't exist anymore. It's been expunged.
I know, but it's a good story, though, isn't it? Really.
Well, it was a definite comedy of errors every time it happened.
Yeah. Now you joined Jefferson Airplane in '72.
Yeah.
And that was after your time in the big house, and you joined
Quicksilver Messenger Service, the band before that I was in. Yeah, I don't know whether anybody got to Australia. Quicksilver Messenger Service.
No,
but
it was never really as big.
anyway, so then I went. Yes,
Yeah,
it was after 45 days, I think it was.
Yeah. Now, a couple of years later, Jefferson Airplane became Jefferson Starship. What was the reason for that name change?
Well, because the two factions in Jefferson Airplane were was Yorma and Jack, the lead guitar player and the bass player, and Paul and Grace, and they were kind of heading different directions. They were still thinking they would get back together. I was hanging with Paul and Grace, and it felt like we were going to go back out on the road as Jefferson Airplane. But as time went on, it seemed like, hey, this isn't going to happen. And so Paul and Grace and I had made a couple of records together with more or less the same crew. And we had to go on the road, so we had to call it something. And Paul had a solo record called Blows Against the Empire. I don't know whether you got down there or not, but that was about a bunch of hippies hijacking the very first Starship and populating outer space. And
I have a question about that.
Yes?
I'm sorry. I was under the impression that aliens had come to Earth and that was the Starship that they'd hijacked, or did they hijack like some kind of NASA thing? Was it an Earth person Starship or was it aliens? Because I want to get this right.
You know Paul's plots. They aren't very specific. I don't know. It seemed like the Starship was out on there and let's go catch it. So I'm okay. You remember those lyrics, right?
Just the regular old Starship.
It was a regular Starship.
old Earth Starship.
The hippies were high anyway, so they didn't have a clue whether they were aliens or not.
That's a good question.
Thanks, Chris. I've been wondering.
Great question.
Yeah. Now me too.
Have you guys got any more questions for yourselves about the name?
Oh, constantly.
Did I answer the question?
You did.
Now I've got a question. Have any of you been to Australia?
No. I have.
No, it's our dream. We were trying to get there.
We made it to New Zealand last year, but
Yeah.
How could you come to New Zealand and not actually jump across the ditch?
I don't know how that happened.
Johnny
It was
was
just a
finding
thing.
it.
We got booked on these festivals with a New Zealand promoter.
Yeah.
And so we just came over for that and then went home. But it was great. And we were so close, but yet so far.
Yeah. Gosh,
So
we would love to.
come. Invite
We
us.
want to come. That's
Yeah.
why we signed with Golden Robot Records so that they'll bring us to Australia.
Yeah.
Now, you guys are obviously still massive with the festivals, right? What song?
Well, we were. We
You
used
were?
to be.
Well,
before
yeah, with
COVID.
Right now, we're
Totally.
master sitting at home.
yeah.
We're big on Zoom now.
We're really big on Zoom.
We'll forget about 2020. It was a bit of a non-event, really. what
Amen.
what song is the song that everyone asks for when you're in concert?
Different ages ask for different things.
White Rabbit.
Yeah.
Certainly, we built this city. Jane.
I've lost you guys. I don't know where you went.
We're here.
Donnie, where are you?
Donnie is here.
No, I don't know, but
He's just
I
he's
don't have
dropping out.
anybody. For some,
He's trying to find himself.
I'm here.
Hey, Donnie,
I'm out in space.
Are you here or are you just frozen?
Can anybody hear me?
Yes. No, he's gone now.
Yeah.
Uh,
We're imitating Grace Slick's very prominent vibrato. Yeah.
We were just talking about songs. One of the most unusual ones is "Want Somebody to Love." Right? It was on a Jim Carrey movie, Cable Guy.
I think she thought it was pretty hilarious herself. She enjoyed it. Yeah.
it was a classic. But this is the thing, right? It's one of those songs that you remember through the ages. Like the moment you even say, "Do you want somebody to love?" It just brings back like all the memories of where you might have been and where you might have heard it. And this guy remembers it on Jim Carrey. So there you go.
I think Jude and I have a similar story with the movie American Pop. Right, Jude? It was like the animated one, and that song is in it too, and it's great. That was my first, introduction to it. What a cool song!
Yeah. How did you guys go coming in? Obviously later. Chris, obviously you were there for 25 years, but particularly Jude and Kathy coming in at such a later date and just being confronted with all of these incredible tunes that you just
Kat knew them all when she came in.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was a big
Jude
fan
was on
growing
the
up.
plane.
Jude was too. Both of us, Jude and I are the same age, and we both saw Jefferson Starship the first time at the same year, probably 1983.
Yeah, I was 13.
You guys again.
Yeah.
I don't know whether
And,
it's due to the fires or Wi-Fi up here.
Donnie's going to be coming in and out during this interview. I can see. He's going to be like,
Dave?
and at the end of the interview, he's going to be like, "So, are we good to go?"
Sorry, guys.
Can you hear what we're doing, Donnie?
I want to tell you guys this. This is my Jefferson Starship Coke mirror that I got at the carnival when I was like 15 years old. I threw
That's cool.
Oh my
cards at a
God.
balloon, and this was my prize, my Jefferson Starship Winds of Change mirror. Huge fan. I have all the music on vinyl.
'Cause
I went
my
to see them
connection's
in
real
concert.
good.
Donnie, are you still talking?
Hey,
I was
Kathy,
so
it must have
naive. I
been
didn't
pretty
even know what
amazing.
those mirrors were.
It must have been pretty
Hello?
amazing to be such a big fan and then to be part of it all.
Beyond the wildest dreams. I was actually singing with Big Brother and the Holding Company, Janis Joplin's band, and we were opening. I was so thrilled to get the call
What
to
the
open
fuck
for
is going
Jefferson
on?
Starship. Donnie!
No.
Donnie, no!
Where's my people?
Donnie! Get on the
Help him.
Starship!
Andy?
Donnie's lost on the Starship.
We can hear you
Oh
sometimes.
my God.
So we stole Kathy because we really wanted her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go on.
Great.
Yeah.
that's incredible. Like Andrew said, this is going to be a crazy interview.
Help him.
You guys have Tito's in Australia?
Oh
Tito's,
my
yeah,
God.
I think they do, don't they?
It's
All right. Well, then we'll come.
You'll
okay.
come.
Yeah,
My mobile
then we can
device
come.
is
Yes.
limited in support. My mobile device is limited in support. Oh my God! All right, guys, take it.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Well, this is the most unusual interview we've done. Oh God. So Kathy and Jude, what
Yeah.
out of all of these massive hits, what's the song that you guys love to play?
Oh, well, sorry, I'm weeping. When I was, we love playing all the songs. Like our current set that we've been playing, when before the pandemic, it was like literally all hits. And then, we're working our new stuff in there, but there are so many damn hits.
Wow.
Like you can't even.
Yeah. So I was in the band,
Donnie.
and I'm still in the band.
Stay where you are.
I think someone forgot to microdose this morning. He's gone beamed up.
Get in the
Stand
Starship.
overboard.
Go with the aliens.
Yeah.
That's what somebody said on
He's
the-
showing up again. Do we bring him back on? Are we game to bring him back
That
on?
is totally up to you guys. Now you see what it's about. We love it. We love him.
He keeps us laughing on the road.
We'll try one more time, Donnie. If you,
Does it work?
There
we
he
can
is.
hear you.
Are you there?
Donnie?
I don't think so.
Is this a game that you guys play on the road? Where's Donnie?
All the time.
Yeah. I've lost my signal.
We do.
Oh God. Maybe someone can quickly message Donnie and say, that he's. Yeah, we'll have to keep him off so we can keep the interview going. No, that's right. He can't see us.
Was there anything direct at me?
There will be if you can actually come onto
You've
the
got
show.
my back, Kathy.
Donnie. Donnie, I'm texting you. Hang on.
Donnie, no.
Get Donnie on your phone, FaceTime, and just have
Use your phone. Yeah, use your phone. It might be better. All right, I'm going to switch him off so we can keep the interview going for a little bit. I was actually hoping that Donnie would be here because he's actually the one band member that went through that change from Jefferson Starship to Starship, right?
He did.
Yeah,
Sure did.
Yeah,
He built the city.
So let's talk about We Built This City. Where is the city we're building? I mean, the song talks about City by the Bay, San Fran, which makes sense because in the 60s and 70s, San Francisco was the hub of the music world. The city that rocks, which is Cleveland, and the city that never sleeps, New York. So which city was being built by rock and roll?
That was an overdub where they had the radio station guy.
Yeah.
And they wanted to, that was not on the record. That was for radio specifically. Right. And they put all those radio stations on there to, get radio to play it. And radio, at least in those days, loved songs about radio. So it really worked because that song got so played.
Yeah.
That everyone hated it.
I think when Bernie Taupin wrote it, it was really about LA, I think.
Yeah.
But when we played in Christchurch after one of their devastating earthquakes, that was their call to arms. And so it was pretty amazing playing there in the audience of 8,000, sang it louder than we did on stage. So.
Wow. So I guess it's one of those songs that becomes about wherever you are, right?
It's your big
city.
Yeah. Now, why was the song so polarizing, though? I mean, like, people either love it or hate it. I mean, like, what was it?
I mean, critics hate it, some of them, but most rock fans seem to love it, man.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I
really think it was just the sheer amount of times it got played on the radio that it burned people out. But it was so incredibly popular. It was a number one song.
Yeah.
It sold multiple millions, and I think that it just, you know, is one of those things like people heard it so much that they're like, I hate this song now. Or did you guys play that song, that Go TA song over there?
Oh yeah, that became.
And we love that song. And then we overplayed it, and now we're like, I can't hear that song anymore.
It's like a Yogi Bearism. Like, it's too popular. Nobody likes it.
I love that.
Yes.
I think probably that and Nothing's Going to Stop Us Now. That was also played pretty heavily as well.
Pretty much everybody that got married during, that song, that was their wedding song. I know that.
The most aggressive Jefferson Starship fan I ever met was in England, some little town we're playing in 2012. And it's getting towards the end of the set, and this big dude is down and he's pulling on my pant leg. He's like, "Hey, mate, I brought my girl out here. It's Friday night. Are you going to play We Built the City or what?" Calm down.
Yeah.
So, can someone get the bouncer, please?
Did we play it? I wonder.
Yeah, did you?
Well, I don't think we actually did. So I had to run and hide at the end of the night that night.
That's a terrible story.
First time we had to run out of a venue. Our band leader used to have a way of just alienating sound men, especially because
sound men and security guards.
You know, and the sound would be terrible, and he would start, you know, berating the guy from the stage, you know, "You need a girlfriend," you know, stuff like that. And, you know, it resulted in being chased.
You guys are really, really grounded. You know, you're really down to earth and stuff like that. I mean, with the fame that you guys have had over the years, how do you keep it so real all the time? You know, so many people lose their heads at all of that fame and everything else. Is there a secret? Is there something you can share that kind of
Donnie
helps us?
Well, David's the most famous one, so he'll have to speak to that. Also the most humble.
Yeah, I've never taken myself that seriously. You know, I mean, that's death.
Yeah.
Kind of, you know, you can't take it. It's got to be fun. It's got to be fun. It can't be all this me stuff, you know. And that's kind of what makes it weird. Yeah. Although you do get isolated if you get so popular that, you know, you can't walk out the door without getting, you know, drawing a crowd. So
yeah, that's pretty much my life.
Yeah, I thought that.
We enjoy hanging out with the people. It's just weird times now. Now we don't know what to do with that, but we love to hug and kiss everybody.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, well, let's hope we can get back to that.
6 feet.
Yeah, that's right. So you guys have got a brand new album out, which is called Mother of the Sun.
Yes,
and a new single, It's About Time, and the two singles that are being released off the album. The first one was written by Grace Slick and Jude, and then the second one, and Kathy as well.
Probably most. I don't know how much Grace wrote actually, but Kathy and Grace wrote the words. I'm sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, I had been hanging out with Grace in LA, and we were watching in January of 2017. We were watching the women's marches in DC and all around the country here, and she was really excited about seeing people in the streets. She was like, "This is just like the 60s. This is just what we used to do." And you got to keep marching. You got to keep fighting. You take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and it's the same stuff that keeps coming up over and over. And I said, you know, we should write a song about that, you know, encapsulates the women's movement. And isn't it about time that women get to take charge for at least, you know, the next 400 years and just see how it goes? And she got really behind that idea. And she wrote these lyrics and sent them to me a few months later. And, you know, 3 handwritten pages of lyrics. And It's About Time was the big hook I gathered because she wrote it over and over again. And I wrote the chorus, and then Jude had the great riff that, you know, he'd been playing around in sound check and stuff. And I said, I think I can marry that with this chorus. And then we used some of Grace's lyrics, and I wrote some more lyrics, and the song was born.
And then the other song that's being released is "Don't Be Sad Anymore," and that was written with Chris. You were involved in the writing of that, and Marty Balin, the late great Marty Balin.
Yeah, I was doing an album with Marty back in the 90s. When I got with them, he asked me to produce a record. He flew out to LA, and we were getting the studio set up. And I had done another song at that studio as an instrumental, and Marty just totally took to it. He took a pad out, and he started scribbling down lyrics, and he wrote lyrics to the tune, and we put it on that record. And I'd forgotten about it, and after he passed about 2 years ago, a friend of ours had posted it on Facebook, and it seemed like a great opportunity to revisit it. And David sang it beautifully, and it's called "Don't Be Sad Anymore," and everyone weeps when they hear it. I feel like it's gone wrong.
That's so
Here's
good.
the joy. Here's the joy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be the next wedding song.
There you go.
There you
Please,
go.
Lord, curse me with a hit.
How is this album different to the older? I know that's a really loaded question because every decade you guys have a different sound, which is amazing. You know.
Well, we have the bass player from Pete Sears from Jefferson Starship, and writing the songs with the old guard, and we really look to Paul Kantner's spirit to guide us through most of this. So I don't know. I feel like we kind of feel like it is from the old and just trudging forward.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fantastic.
Yeah, I think that Paul always, had this vision of this band being a collective and bringing in whoever the best people were around and available at the time. And that's how Jefferson Starship was kind of formed, out of Jefferson Airplane breaking up. Well, Marty Balin's leaving. Who's the best male vocalist in San Francisco? David Freiberg. Let's get him in, and recruited the young Craig Chiquiso. He was 19 years old when Jefferson Starship formed, and Pete Sears was around making records, and everybody was kind of there. And, everybody came in and did their thing, and everybody brought their own songs in and they brought it together. But the band, everybody, put their own stamp on it. Through the changes over the years, that's the role that everyone has kind of had. And Paul brought all of us into this current version of the band, and we toured with him for many years before he passed away. And and then we were handed to carry on. And so I think the music is new. We made it with a thought of legacy act, but also we want to present our own voice in this legacy too. And so it's really exciting to bring in some of the original players and songwriters, and then interpret these new songs, write our own songs. I've been waiting to do this since I joined the band. It's a complete thrill.
Because it's been, 14 years since you guys have put an album out? 14 years?
Something like that. 12.
12.
Yeah.
When Kathy first came in, we made Jefferson's Tree of Liberty, but that was mostly old folk songs.
So you guys putting this out on a record, on vinyl?
Yes.
You got it, right? Yeah. Do you think that's coming back again?
I hope so.
I think it is, yeah.
I mean,
Everybody's
it's
doing
getting
vinyl
bigger
now.
all the time.
And we've got Donnie back. Welcome
Donnie.
welcome
Nice.
back, Donnie.
Johnny!
Unfucking believable. I want to move back to the valley.
Guys, am I right in saying that the live performances is the sweet spot? That's the high. That's the what you do it all for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's part of it. I think it's most of it for all of us. We love being together on stage. It's we just have such a good time.
Yeah.
It's always there. It's a good thing. We love it, and we love each other. And I don't know. what do you say about something that just feels so right?
Well, it can't be wrong.
So now that Donnie's back, can we just ask you about because you were the only one in the current lineup that was involved with the move to Starship, correct?
Yeah, it moved from Jefferson Starship. I joined the band. It was Jefferson Starship, 82, and in the mid 80s, it kind of switched over and kind of went its own way with a little push from certain people.
David said goodbye. So David didn't stick around. He left.
David was lucky. He got out before. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't a good time. It was really different. Blinded by the light, so to speak. Grace was gone. Grace left in 87. I left in 89. David left before Grace. Pete was there for a little bit with the Starship, but
I left
we got different producers. We got different music. There was a lot of music that was coming in.
Yeah,
we had people in the band that really wanted hits, didn't really want to spend time writing. So the image, sound-wise, music-wise of the band totally changed. I mean, it was really successful, but that type of success is, for me, it just doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem like it's part of what you do and how you express yourself musically. But it was a good time for what it was. It was a different band, different music, mostly different leaders, different producers, and obviously different songwriters. Not too many people in the band were writing songs through all that. So, but we did have a good time. It was different from the Jefferson Starship when I first joined the band, but it was cool. Live and learn. It feels right because we kind of share everything with each other. And I mean, we've been sitting in our home since March, but we talk every week.
Yeah.
Thank God we had the new material. I don't know what you guys talked about while I was gone.
Oh, everything else, but, pretty much.
I mean, thank God we have this music.
We just talked about you.
Yeah. That only lasts so long. We're blessed. We're blessed to have the new material. Everybody being a part of it. And that's really the magic that we have, is we're a part of each other's life in doing this band, and it really comes out when we play live. And of course, we play everything else that has anything to do with the history of the band. So it's a full movie. It's a 90-minute movie.
You kind of got to be like that too, though, when you get to the I was going to say the age of the band of having so much history, right? That fans are going to expect it when they go to a concert, right?
Oh, sometimes they say, you didn't play my favorite, and it's hard to guess which one that is. Yeah.
So, you got to give a little bit of kind of each part of what the history of this band is. I think we do a good job of that. But there's always people out there that want to hear a certain song. We do the best we can, I mean, if we could do 2 or 3 hours with a break in between, we could give them all they need.
Wow, what an amazing concert that'd be. How has the new album been received so far?
Well, Kathy,
really
she's
well.
more on it than all of us, but looks like it's doing really well.
How are the numbers?
I don't know how the numbers are, but I can tell you, like, the social media, except for YouTube, which is just one of the worst places on earth for comments. But the Facebook and the comments from our actual fans they really like it, and we're really happy about that, because those are the people we really want to please. There's always going to be people, especially in the States, people are real snarky, and can be, and that's a little frustrating. But I would say 90% of the reaction has been super positive. People saying, it reminds them of the old band, and it sounds new and fresh, and it's on topic. We're pretty excited about it.
I just have to say that this interview, for me personally, has been fantastic because of the fact that you guys have been such a part of my life right through even from the early days. So to hear that you guys are still out there honoring the old music as well as the bringing in the new music is a breath of fresh air. I'd be one of those guys in the concert to be like, play that song.
That's cool. That's okay. We don't mind.
Jude's like going, go away, go away.
We built this city.
We're very giving if we can. We would love to play anything and everything that anybody wants to hear.
Yeah.
We have great fans.
We were talking about New Zealand in January, but they want us to quarantine on a beach there for 10 days or something before the first show. So, threaten us with a good time.
I'll hang out for 2 weeks.
Wow. Yeah. Now, I mean, you guys have been pretty political, like in terms of as a band, with having a voice. I mean, do you guys have a particular voice as to what's going on in America? And I mean, even with It's Time, It's About Time, that's a pretty motivated song as well, right? I mean, how do you feel about the current state in America?
Yeah.
It's perfect timing. Perfect timing without us really knowing about it. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
100%.
There's another single out. I'm not sure if we talked about it. What Are We Waiting For? That, we finished and recorded and filmed the video in October.
That's the second single.
Awesome.
Second single came out a few days ago. And I look at it and it's so prescient. Like, it looks like we put it together a week ago. The way that the protests are filmed inside this video and the lyrics about, like, what are we waiting for as far as changing the world? And, it's, even for me, so close to it, all of us, it's kind of emotional to see it.
Yeah.
It is.
Check that out.
It's unreal.
There does need to be change that comes through. And I think it's change that, like what you're talking about here, starting like just as a band making change, and then it's going to expand out through to all of us,
Well, music is a great way to express yourself and what you're feeling and thinking about. And, I think this band has always used the microphone to speak to, the greater truths. And, especially Paul Kantner, he still is our guiding light. I mean, he's not with us on this planet, but he's definitely helping us from another place, I believe. And, that's a really important thing for us to carry that fire, carry the spirit, carry the
legacy,
the voice for social justice and for change, carry it forward into the new times. And, like Grace said, it's all cycling over again. It's been 50 years and here we are again. We've got racial strife in the United States. And I know it's all over the world, but it's these things that we think that we've moved past it. And then we realize that we really haven't. And, the women's movement in 1972, the Equal Rights Amendment was passed in the United States, but it still has never been ratified into the Constitution. So just in a little bit later tonight, I'm going to be singing for a concert, online concert for the ERA, singing It's About Time, because literally in 2020, women don't have equal rights in the United States. We don't have rights to equal pay. A lot of disparities in the healthcare system and all kinds of things. And, so it's like we're still fighting this fight unbelievably.
I mean, isn't change really...
That's the best thing about it.
The real change happens when everything bubbles to the surface and we can't ignore it any longer, and we're kind of forced to change. People have to go into... whether it's a physical, spiritual, mental sort of hardship and stuff like that before they're actually forced into that moment of change. So, and I think that's what's going on right at the moment.
I think you're right. Yeah. With all the big it's almost like a pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, it takes light shining on these issues for people to realize that they're even there, like we were all kind of lulled into this, we beat racism and we have civil rights now and we have equality and all this stuff. But, having an extremely racist president has brought all the racists out of the woodwork, and now they feel emboldened to just be, out there. It's crazy. I can't even believe. And, the other thing we have now that we didn't used to have is cell phone videos, and I think that is waking up a lot of people too. What goes on in places that you don't see it. Now we see it because people are filming it and
Everything, yeah.
Well, look, we do have to finish up because I know you guys have got another interview to do. Just in closing, is there any memory in over this whole time, and maybe David might be a good one to answer this? Is there a memory just in your whole time with Jefferson Airplane and also Jefferson Starship that is really on your mind and that you'd like to share with everyone? I'm trying.
That's so deep. The thing that gets me about it, Jefferson is what Paul's main thing was, and it's together.
Yeah,
we can be together. We can go together.
Let's get together.
Let's get together.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right now.
That's been my whole thing ever since I started singing folk music before I even plugged in, and with Paul Kantner too, and I know with Marty too, Marty Ballin, and the times when everybody's together is when it's really happening.
Yeah,
and that's happened probably once in the Jefferson Airplane, sometime in the Jefferson Airplane, although I didn't seem to be there at the time. Yeah, it certainly was a couple of 3 times in Jefferson Starship, especially now. So
yeah.
So that's being together is the big thing for me.
We got to be together. We can't do it apart.
Yeah,
or we're
that's
gonna
right.
be fighting, and that's no good for anyone.
Same's true for the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Are you going to be fighting all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, the hardest thing is not knowing when we're going to be together on stage again. So we're doing anything and everything to kind of fill that void.
Yeah.
But not knowing when we're going to play together is.
But here we are together.
It's torture.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, like you guys are doing like online concerts and things like that now, playing with one another still through Zoom and that. Yeah.
We have some things out there.
Yeah.
Making
As much as
videos.
we can.
We're kind of like doing that today, actually.
Yeah. So there's the new album. Make sure that you go out and grab it. It is Jefferson Starship, Mother of the Sun. It's available in all good record stores. Don't
Golden
stream.
Robot Records.
Don't stream it. Buy the record. Buy the vinyl.
Can they get the box? Oh, the space box. We didn't talk about the space box.
yeah.
They don't. They can't get the space box. They'd have to order it as an import.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I can show you the space box. It's pretty cool.
So yes, please do. So the Space Box is obviously the greatest hits, or like all of the albums.
Oh, no.
No, the space box is our custom CD artwork that we had made, which folds out from this into
Transformers.
Oh my God!
Actual
It's like a
huge.
box.
Check this out.
it's a box, and it's
You can
got
put your
this beautiful
stash in it.
artwork, and it opens up, and you can put all your stash in there. You can put a pretty big stash in here,
Yeah,
You can
that
put whatever
is
you want.
real. Yep.
at whatever you want. And it's a beautiful art piece. The artwork is done by a young artist here in the United States named Nicholas Moeller.
Yep.
And he's so young, I don't even think he even has ever seen a CD before. That's how old we are. Like CDs are out of date.
Yeah.
But he designed this incredible package, and we're very proud. Very proud.
All right, guys. Well, we are out of time. Thank you all. David, Kathy, Jude, Chris, Donnie. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Can't wait.
Be safe. We'll see you sooner than later.
Thank you. You guys rock.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Sorry for
So
the
fun.
Wi-Fi screw up.
Thank you, guys.
That was hilarious, actually. So
It was a comic genius.
It's like-
I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I was just-
is everybody there?
It's funny.
Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Long Way to the Top. Hit plus or follow to subscribe to the podcast, and head over to Facebook at the Long Way to the Top podcast and give us a like. Keep on rocking, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Long Way to the Top.